From Wall Street to Main Street, this is Lalate.
Good evening, and for June 21st, 2022, breaking news on your money. As Wall Street rebounded today, but don't take it lightly, as oil cripples international economies, and tonight there's big concerns that the European economies detailed last night on Evenings Lalate could be going into recession, and not just next year, potentially next week. Well, the breaking news on why that energy shortage internationally is crippling economies and why the situation is getting very dire by the minute. Tonight, there's uncertainty whether those European economies are already in recession tonight. The latest details in tonight's recording from the shores of Santa Monica, California. What's important for you is to get as much money as you can because the energy bills you're going to pay to heat your home later this year are going to be out of control. Those prices could potentially be up 400%. I'll go over the latest details on how to get that money. But the good news is that your benefits are going up. I have the latest details on how much rise up. They're going to go about $300 more per month at least to start. We have new housing data out today. It was again bad. Another day with bad housing data. The labor situation continues to unravel, especially in the auto market, and unemployment will continue to surge as gas prices continue to surge. Those gas prices are really the core of the problems with this economy internationally and domestically. And tonight's recording will go over those four stimulus checks in every U.S. state, why you got to get those checks. Stock market crash, well, it rebounded today, but what does it mean thereafter? I'll have the latest analysis tonight. Housing market crash upon us, and then recession. Could it potentially be coming sooner than I had ever predicted? I'll have the latest details tonight on Evenings. But what's important to understand is that there is a fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state. You need to get that check tonight. You can't wait. Go under this video, become a member. Go under the video, subscribe. Get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and stay to the second half. Because in the second half, we're going to go over those four stimulus checks in every U.S. state. I have a new analysis for those checks and breaking new details about the checks tonight. And then we'll be going over the raise of your benefits. You got to get all these incredible checks because if world economies are heading into recession sooner, we could as well. For August 21st, 2022, no, June 21st, 2022, it's Evenings. And good evening, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful night for June 21st, 2022. What a Freudian slip that was. You don't want this to be August because that would mean 30 days from now, an implosion of this economy would be starting. In this recording, we're going to go over three things. We're going to go over where the economy is right now, where it's going, and why you got to get every pot of money that's available tonight. We're going to go over those checks. Hope you became a member during the commercial break. If you haven't, become right now. Go into this video, subscribe, then become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino, VIP, and then get that newsletter that everyone's talking about with those big stimulus checks in there. We're going to be going over those incredible checks later in tonight's recording. But first tonight, we go to the breaking news out of Europe. The breaking news out of Europe tonight is deeply troubling. And the troubling issue at hand is that money that many people thought would be there is not there, as economies are imploding very quickly and the recessionary pressures at issue continue to surge. And what's happening? It's a big problem, and we're going to go over the problem starting right now. Tonight, there's big concerns that our economy could be going into recession sooner than initially thought because world economies are going into recession earlier than they thought. Let's take a step back. Back in February of this year, I was the only U.S. broadcaster of financial news saying, we're going into recession, but not this year, next year. We have three phases of this economy to go through. The current phase, the next phase starting in September, and then a recession coming in 2023. But at the time, I said something very clear. We are a symbiotic relationship with other world countries, and if they go into recession before us, we go into recession. Let's take it back to March. I said that when Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine in the month of March, all the world countries need to get gasoline replaced. 3.5 million barrels missing per day, or we all go in recession and they got to get the gasoline replaced by May. We're heading into July and we don't have the gasoline replaced. The situation tonight, I'm going to be very frank with you, is very unclear in Europe. Why? Because Europe's a lot of different countries. It's not just Germany, it's also Italy and England that are suffering major problems in the last 4 to 7 days. Analysts of the Americas, including myself, are unsure if they are in recession, if they're about to go in recession, and how dire the situation is. They're grappling with energy, they're grappling with oil, and they're grappling with supply chain disruption. And the situation back in the United States for you tonight is that you need to use this as a pre-warning. It's a little bit different than last night's recording, where I told you that the prices of oil is driving heating prices out of control overseas, and you need to prepare back in the United States. Tonight, we know another element of this. We could be going into recession sooner than thought. Let's look at the 3 phases so you understand what we're dealing with right now. Currently, this economy in the month of June is going from a really good situation in February, March, to a very bad situation in September. I call this phase 1, as this economy, the U.S. economy, slows very quickly, very dramatically. During this phase 1, you're going to see a lot of problems with labor, industry, corporate America, and basic cost of living. Then when you go to say phase 2, starting September, that's going to be horrific. It is going to mirror day 1 of the pandemic of March of 2020. It's going to be that bad. And now imagine how quickly it's going to change between now and then. That's only 90 days out from here. And then in January 2024 is what I said since February of this year, starts the recession. That's in the United States. But tonight, there's big question marks. If the comments coming out of Germany, Italy, and France, and the movement of their economies in less than 7 days, folks, they've moved dramatically, could be sending them into recession in just a few days, not a year from now, is very unclear. What I'm going to say to you for you is you need to use their warning signals tonight as your warning signals. There are 2 parts. First, you have to presume that this economy is going to slow very quickly. And why I say it's by January of next year we're in recession, you have to hope it's not sooner, because you got to move sooner and get the stimulus. Number 2, the second part is the energy part. One of the biggest bills you're going to pay this year is to heat your home, whether it's electric, gas, or heating oil, or some version of that. And that bill, I'm telling you right now, when it comes later this year, is going to be a shocker. But not as much a shocker to you as to someone who doesn't watch this channel, because I'm giving you a pre-warning. I'm telling you 3 months ahead of time, 5 months ahead of time, depending on when it gets really cold where you live, that it's going to be a shocker. You're going to open that envelope, and the envelope's going to have a bill in there you expect to be a little higher, because you know gasoline's higher. And then you're going to look at it and you say, it's 300 to 400% higher. And then you're going to pause, and then maybe you won't be able to breathe because you realize, wait a second, that bill that normally was $300 a month went to $1,200 a month. I can't afford $1,200. Moreover, the reality check will continue to come on in. First, you'll realize how much it went up. Number 2, you'll see how quickly it's due. And number 3, you'll realize this is 2022. In 2022, there is no allegiance between the United States, the states, or the utility companies to give you slack on paying bills. If you don't pay the bill, they turn it off. It's that simple. During the pandemic, if you didn't pay the bill, they had to leave it on. You didn't even have to ask them to leave the bill, to keep it on. They had to leave it on. It was an actual rule in the place. This time around, they can turn off your heating oil, your gas in the thick of winter because you didn't pay it a few days late. And that is not a good circumstance. What's happening overseas today is much the same as Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, and France. The number of countries grows. Last night was just Germany, are announcing they're doing something so shocking they even admit it's shocking. Leaders of these countries, who are generally perceived as progressives, generally seen as pro-climate, pro-environment, are saying, we're turning on coal-burning factories that have been shut for many, many years, in some cases 10, 20 years, because they're seen as health hazards, because this is the only way to heat the homes of our citizens in our country this winter, or they die. It'll be too cold for anyone to survive with no heating oil or gas. Why aren't they going to have heating oil or gas? Because of the Russian embargo. They've removed the Russian oil from the circulation, and Russia's reduced capacity, and Russia sometimes has a dedicated pipeline into the countries like Germany with Nord Stream 1. Reduced capacity, not enough. People have no heating, have nothing to keep warm. It's a dire situation. The comments come from the German economic minister today. It comes from Italy. It comes from France. They say it's a dire situation. That's why they say they're stocking up as much of this utility surfaces now before the winter. What does this mean for you? Same thing. You need to financially prepare yourself for a massive bill coming later this year. And that massive bill, you're going to prepare yourself 3 ways. First, you're going to become a member. 2, you're going to learn about Check C. 3, you're going to learn a new part about Check C tonight. And that is the relationship, overcoming your fears, and being ahead of everyone else when getting money. Let's go over those 3 parts right now. First, getting over your fears. A lot of Americans who just found this channel have never thought of the concept of picking up the phone and calling and asking for something. I want to make it very clear early in this recording. This is 2022. This is not 2020. Now, I've had people give this money since 2020, but a lot of people have never done this because they're new viewers of this channel. This is 2022. The way you got paid money from the federal government in 2020, it's gone. The way you got money from the federal government in 2021, it's gone. You need to readapt yourself immediately to the way it's done today. You need to do it the way it's done today. And one of the ways is picking up the phone and calling. I'm a little shy. I'm a very shy person. Would you rather be a shy and warm person or a shy and very cold person in the month of November? I'd rather be warm and shy. So you're going to pick up the phone. You're going to pick up the phone and be warm and shy and overcome that shyness by picking up the phone and calling the people in the nonprofits, in the newsletter, the people that are in the government, they're in the newsletter, and picking up the phone and learning how to ask them, I need some heating oil and also gasoline and also gas to heat my home. When? Now, in the thick of summer. Are you kidding me? Yes. Let's go over the analysis. Your bill right now may be $5, $10, or maybe almost nothing because you don't even have it on. It may be just a monthly service minimum. But what I want you to do is pick up the phone and ask for that assistance with 1 round, 3 to 4 months. Do it right tonight if you're a member of this channel, because I want you to first overcome your fears of picking up the phone and asking for assistance. Number 2, once you establish that relationship, this is one of the most important part of the equations. Once you establish that relationship with that person on the phone you speak to, professionally, respectfully, kindly, invest in their livelihood. How's your weekend? How's the family? How are you preparing for the summer? What are you doing for 4th of July? Learn their name, write down their phone number, get a pad and paper, take notes, because you're calling them back up in a few months from now. Yeah. When you call back up in a few months from now, guess what's going to happen? It's going to be starting to get cold outside, and people are going to start to panic. They may call when they get their first bill, and they panic. They open it up. They think it's going to be $250. It's $1,200. Says it's due in 10 days, and says your service could be cut off. They're going to panic. They're going to be angry. They're going to be belligerent. They're going to pick up the phone and be very belligerent to that same person you spoke to on the phone. But when you call back, you already established a relationship. Hey, it's me again. You remember me? I do. How are you? Yeah, I hope your family's good. Did you have a good 4th? I did have, yeah, I did. It was a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much. How'd your family and myself too? I need a couple more months of assistance. Oh, how far? Well, that recession's coming. I know it's really hard on my family. These bills. I know it's gone up a lot. Can you give me 4 months of this? Okay, let me see what I can do. And that is why you are going to win compared to the person who doesn't watch this channel, who's not a member, who's not a subscriber, who doesn't watch this channel. That viewer is going to wait till their back is against the wall. The wall's going to get very cold. They're going to panic, and then they're worried they're going to lose their wall because there is no eviction moratorium anymore. The landlord can kick you out. There is no mortgage forbearance. The bank can throw you out if you don't pay the mortgage. It's that type of situation across the board. To think that Germany, France, and Italy said, you know what, we are doing something we would never think about, like putting these products, these factories back online, they view it as a serious situation across the board. What's also at issue is that the next 3 months is going to be a big pivot. So I want to prepare yourself in this. I want to prepare you in this recording, how to prepare your family and your household for the next few weeks of phase 1. What is phase 1? We're going to go over those 3 phases starting right now. Phase 1 is between now and September. This is the downward spiral of this U.S. economy. It's going to shrink, slow down, stop really quickly. And it's going to be abrupt for a lot of people who saw a really good time in the month of February, a really good time in the month of March, maybe a decent time. And by September, it's going to be a shocker. It's going to be really bad. How bad? It's going to resemble day one of the pandemic of March of 2020. That starts in September, goes all the way into January. This is where it's very bad. Why do I think it's bad? It's generally worse for people when there's an abrupt shift than a progression. September to 2024 is a progression, but now to September is a very, very abrupt shift in the road. And this will leave people shocked. Then January 2024 is the recession. That is something you've never seen in the history of this channel. I was the first American broadcaster to report we're going to recession next year. I was the only one even saying the word recession back in February when I recorded videos on this channel. I've gotten my predictions right, and we're going to go over more about those predictions in just 1 second. Here's what I want you to prepare for your family through phase one by doing. 1. I want you to watch this channel daily, all the new videos daily, because you need to know what's going on with this economy every day. Imagine if you had a favorite TV show and you missed 5 episodes and you missed the plot line. Someone died, someone's been convicted, someone has shown up with a secret child, and it's a lobster. Imagine how much you have to catch up. He has a lobster as a child. I got to really catch up on the show. Imagine if you're doing that with this economy. Tonight, do you know if the Dow Jones was up 2,000 points, down 2,000 points? If world banks closed, if there was bankruptcies? You don't know that until you watch the recording. And those type of events could change by the minute as a spiraling out of control economy is happening. The Dow was actually up today. It was up 500 points. At some points, generally 600 points. It started the day at 400 points. It was generally up about 3%. I mean, some stocks like Tesla were up about 7% after they really have taken a bad implosion in recent days. Last week was the worst decline of the S&P since March 2020. You're going to start to see me say a lot of these March 2020 dates. See the reoccurrence. Remember, that was the start of the pandemic. S&P decline last week was 6%, 5.8%, the worst since March 2020. But the housing data started the day. More housing data. More bad housing data. It's the same story every day. Housing sales for the came in for the month of May, and they are the weakest month reported if you do it seasonally adjusted since right before the pandemic, January 2020. There you go. It just keeps on reoccurring. Now, when you hear the January 2020 data comparison for the housing numbers that came in just a few days ago, the numbers came in today, but therefore data from last month, you immediately may pause and say, wait a second, LA. You're saying that this economy is going to resemble the pandemic in September. But the housing data you're reading looks like it is the pandemic already. And the stock market crash of last week was the lowest numbers we've seen since the start of the pandemic. This is starting to look like the pandemic, and we got 90 days left to we're fully down to September level, to the September phase 2 level. What I want you to understand is that this is not a hard and fast calculation. Some industries may go into this phase 2 before September. That's why you can't wait to get any stimulus checks. You can't wait to get any stimulus monies because the situation is unraveling very quickly. When you look at phase 3, I'm referring to as a recession. I was the only broadcaster talking about recession. The only bank to talk about recession up to April was Deutsche Bank when they announced in April. But tonight, there's new details. Tonight, new reports are coming in from a lot of economists. No less than 80% polled in a new report, and also from Bank of America, that says stagflation could be crippling this economy soon. Stagflation is definitely troubling because stagflation involves not just recession, but inflation. That's why you got to get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state, because imagine if it's stagflation, which is recession plus inflation next year. Folks, that's even worse. You got to get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. Become a member. Go right in this video. What's happening in the next 90 days between now and phase 2? Number 1, price of goods will be going higher. Then recessionary winds will pick up. Mortgage rates will surge higher. Also in the next 90 days, consumer confidence is going to go lower, income lower, and spending lower. Do not expect any fast action from Congress. Inflation will not go lower, and don't expect gasoline to go lower. What I need you to do is the following approach in the next 90 days. 1, stay on this channel and learn about what this economy is doing at any moment. Number 2, get checks on a regular basis today, tomorrow, the day after. But here's specific things I want the rest of you to do as well. First, if you're a senior, please do not do what 50% of seniors did in a new poll released last weekend. In a new poll, it said that seniors are dipping in their savings. Don't do that. And increasing their credit card debt. Please don't do that. Jay Powell is definitely confirmed to raising interest rates. How many? How much? This is my analysis. 3 quarters last week, 3 quarters in July. They're off in August. Then the September FOMC, half, then quarter. Even if he does half of my prediction, which he's not, he's going to do almost all my prediction. This means your interest rates are going to be out of control. I need you to do the following things in your household right now. I need you to remove any type of flexible debt that you have in the house. That type of debt is things that I call ARDs, adjusted rate debt. If the debt is like a car loan, or it is a credit card debt, please get rid of it. Please get rid of it right now. Remove those ARDs right away. You don't have any flexible interest rate debt because it's going to be out of control, much higher in just a few days, in about 90 days. Number 2, raise your savings. That involves getting the big stimulus and spending less money. With that, you'll be more prepared as we go into phase 2. And the difference is you'll have a 90-day leeway and a 90-day advance notice. The situation tonight is going to separate you and the rest of the non-viewers in this economy. Non-viewers who sit back and not know what the economy is are going to be shocked when the headwinds of the downward spiral of this economy hit in September. In September, you will be financially prepared for a worse economy. They will not. They won't even know it's coming. In January, the economy is going to go in recession. They won't have anything prepared for it at all. What does this feel like? It feels sort of like a hurricane preparation. If you know there's a hurricane landing in your state in 7 days, 5 days, you track it. You know where the hurricane is every day, every hour. It's picking up speed, it's slowing down. It's further, it's closer. That's how you track a hurricane. You also prepare your household. You get the food ready, you lock the windows. The same thing when we're talking about your wallet with a hurricane I call recession. It was back in the month of February, I described this as a storm out to sea. It's about to touch land. Months later, earlier this month I should say, Jamie Dimon, the head of JP Morgan Chase, repeated my words nearly verbatim. He calls it a hurricane down the road. What you need to do is prepare yourself accordingly right away, and involves getting all those incredible checks. We're going to go over those in a second. Gas prices are likely to go higher. How much higher? Tonight, I had the analysis across the board. I got 2 comments from on social media, private messaging, I adored. Why do I adore them? The comments were, Lalate, I saw the price of gasoline go down the last few days. Did they have a deal? I love that. The viewers saw that gasoline went down, so it means they're watching this economy like you watch a hurricane, and they understood that something happened. They wanted to know why. That's what you should be doing as well. The reason gasoline prices went down was because of speculative trading. Housing data released today was not any better. The data released today, as you saw earlier in this recording, shows that the sales of existing homes are falling dramatically, and it's now looking like it's pre-pandemic levels. Bear market? Well, yes. When you talk about the stock market crash of 2022, we're just underway. Because in a stock market crash, you have to fall down a respective percentage point based upon what's going on. In a bear market, you're going to go down 26%. That's where we are. In a bear market plus recession, you're going down 48%. That's where we're headed. If you have stocks or bonds, understand the stocks will devalue into 2024. We're in a downward spiral. It's going to take nearly a year and a half till we find the bottom. We're not at the bottom. If you're in the housing market and you own and you need to sell, you want to get out now. If you don't need to sell, then get ready to bunker down and be able to afford the home for the next 2 years because the valuation may go lower. If you're in any type of small business and you're worried about a recession, understand that your cost of goods are going to go higher as inflation goes higher. So you need to prepare accordingly. And finally, if you're an employee, please understand the situation. Do not buy into the fake narratives of February. This ain't a robust economy. You're not going to get hired in 10 seconds if you could lose your job tomorrow, and you're not going to demand a salary raise. You're not going to do it on my channel. Let me tell you what's going on. The unemployment situation remains one of the fakest narratives of some financial analysts' mouths, where they say no one is losing their jobs, untrue, that the labor market is great, says Janet Yellen last weekend, untrue, and that everyone has job security, untrue. Let me tell you what's going on. 230,000 new jobless claims were released last Thursday. I said it was going to be, 229,000. I said it was going to be 230, it was 229. The week before that, 200. The week before that, 200. This is numbers that are not supposed to be seen now. We saw this at the start of the pandemic. Meantime, corporate layoffs are picking up. Tesla announcing 10% off, gone. We also have corporate layoffs at Coinbase, 18%. And there's phases for these unemployment problems coming. Phase one will be marginal layoffs. You learned that one store has less employees. Then corporate layoffs, which you just went over. We're currently really in phase two, corporate layoffs, where you hear 8% gone, 9% gone. Then the worst phase, hiring freezes. That means don't even knock on the door and ask for an interview. We're not interviewing for 2 years. That's called a hiring freeze. And then, of course, the most scary of all the phases is the corporate store closures. The store closures will happen in recession. You wake up one morning and a big box retailer says, we're filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and we're closing 20 or 30 stores in 45 states. Big shocker. Now, let me make something very clear about this for several reasons. There's a lot to go over tonight about this. One, if you work for a corporation like a big box retailer or someone that's traded on the U.S. on a stock exchange, please understand their guidance has not been good lately. A lot of the big box retailers were under fire about a month ago when they shocked and they said, we have a big miss in corporate earnings. Why was there no advanced warning? Because a lot of companies give you advanced warnings on a bad earnings call before it comes in. They didn't. In the case of employment, the same situation, you may have the job today and you may think, I'm totally fine. Don't do that. Number two, the unemployment stimulus, the small business stimulus, and all those other stimulus items, they're all gone. What I need you to do tonight, and I want to do this very, very tight, and I want to do this very, very strong-willed with a lot of tough love, because I see comments still coming on in, and I hope you help me by doing the following. If you see comments like this, please jump in the live chat and help spread the same message to the other viewers as well. This is 2022. That's basically the best expression to use. This is 2022. This is not 2020. This is not 2021. When are they sending out a stimulus check for everyone else? This is 2022. This is the way we do it. When are they doing FPUC, PUA, LWA, EIDL grant, EIDL loan, PPP? They're not doing any of them. They're all gone. They're all gone. All those unemployment stimuluses of 2020, they're all gone. So if you get laid off, please do not expect to get that check. It doesn't exist. They're all gone. And if you're a small business owner, don't expect to get some EIDL or SBA help or even a scarf from Javita. It doesn't exist. That's all gone. Moreover, if you saw the way you were paid from the federal government in 2020 or 2021, that's all gone. The people who are getting money in the next 90 days are people who do something. I want to make this really, really clear and emphatically clear to you tonight. The people who are getting money in the next 90 days as we go from phase one to phase two are people who do something to get the money. And I teach you how to do that something to get the money in the second half. If you do nothing, as a donut girl or donut guy, you get nothing. And I got to tell you, very, very strong-willed, very, very tough love. Doing nothing will not help you survive the downward spiral of this economy between now and September. You need to do something, and doing something involves step one, becoming a member. Going right in this video and becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Step two is getting that newsletter. Step three is watching the videos throughout the day, learning about every check and how to get it. Later in this video, you're going to see great examples from last night, from Lorraine, from Nisi, from Mark, from Johnny, and also you're going to meet a familiar face. Donut Girl is back. I'll explain to you what Donut Girl is getting and what Donut Girl is not getting. In the next 90 days, the price of goods are going to go higher, recessionary winds are going to pick up, and mortgage rates are going to go through the roof. Unemployment's going to surge, gas prices are going to surge, and interest rates are going to surge. That's why you got to get these big checks. Also coming up in the second half of this video is the exciting news as checks are going up if you're on SSI, SSDI, and VA. We got a lot coming up in the second half. If you haven't become a member, do so, and I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. As America's most loved show at evenings continues, it's Evenings LA. But first, here's a little bit about the members community page. As Evenings LA's June 21st, 2022 recording continues.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LA Late Daily for the excitement of the new LA Late live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LA Late at 9 a.m. Home LA Late returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LA Late at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LA Late.
And the excitement continues right now for June 21st, 2022 from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Hope you're good. Did you become a member during the commercial break? I hope you did. Go right in this video, join the channel. Click that link where it says join the channel, become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Join the thousands who have joined and get that newsletter for members that everyone's talking about. Go into that incredible newsletter and get those big checks. I'm going to show you how in this big second half. Then, of course, we're going to go over those incredible raising of your benefits that are coming thereafter. And plus, we'll be looking at what's going on with the rest of this economy in the next few weeks. It's a big second half, and I'm excited you're here. And I hope it's not too hot where you are. But even if it's hot where you are, we're getting some heating oil tonight. Let's go over the details, starting right now. Earlier in this video, we understood the importance of doing those deals and getting those relationships lined up to get these stimulus. Now we're going to do it, the actual stimulus. Back in the month of March, viewers of this channel asked me, LA, can you find me some forced stimulus checks? Find me some forced stimulus checks. That Build Back Better Act hasn't gotten done yet, and I did. I found checks with 3 focuses, and boy, did I focus on this. 3 items. 1, that I wanted to get you big checks, and I don't mean a couple $100s. I mean tens of thousands of dollars, because a couple $100s ain't going to survive, and a few $1,000s ain't going to survive very long, because you got to get all the way into September, then survive September going into January. You need big checks, and that's why I found you checks. Upwards of $80,000 for check B, but totality, if you look at all these checks added up, A, B, and C, it's around $100,000 a person. Second, important that the eligibility is broad, that as many as my viewers are qualified for these checks. Eligible, and I found them. Single individuals, $75,000 less, go get them. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get them. If you rent, if you own, you have children, you don't have children, go get them. If you're on benefits, go get them. Number 3, I wanted to make very clear to you the messaging that you get checks today, you get more checks tomorrow, and you keep on getting checks throughout these phases. You don't stop at any moment. And with that, let's get some checks. We're going to go over the checks when we have breaking news about the checks later in the second half. And then we'll be going also to the raising up of your benefits and more about where this economy is going. That very first check is huge, and it is a check A. That first check A is enormous. It's $6,500 to $12,000. You deserve it. You should get it. You need to get it right now, not 6 weeks from now or 6 months from now, not even 6 hours. It's a $6,500 to $12,000 fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state. Go get it. Single individual, $75,000 or less, go get it. If you are married, 150,000 or less. If you are on benefits, go get it. Children without children, go get it. How to get this wonderful check? You know the routine. Step 1, subscribe to this channel. Step 2, go into the video where it says join the channel and become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Casino VIP. Then get that newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system. Go right down in the newsletter to find the wonderful Check A, which is a lettering system I've created for this channel, and find it, and then it has a link. Click the link, and you go into the nationwide website. You choose your state, then you choose the Homeowners Weatherizing Grant Check, and there it is. It's the Homeowners Weatherizing. You're going to pounce and get it. There you go. Wonderful, but you're not going to stop there yet. You're going to go then get Check B. Check B is a wonderful check as well. It is $15,000 to $80,000. My goodness. Imagine how long $80,000 would sustain your family. 6 months? A year? It's a lot of money. Viewers are tracking at $66,000 to $80,000. It's a 4-stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you are on benefits, go get it. You know how to do it. Subscribe. Then go under the video, become a member. Click the link. There's all those people in the live chat with an emoji behind their name. They are members. Then get that newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and go down till you find Check B. When you find Check B, then pounce. Go get it. Routing times are generally about 1 week out, but you're not going to stop with Check B. No, you're not. After Check B, you're going to then Check C. Here's those utilities we talked about earlier in this recording. This is for renters and homeowners, rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. It is an averaging about a $2,000 a month check over 12 months, $24,000. Many viewers are averaging about $45,000. We have had big success stories on this. Several viewers over $100,000. It dates back to December 2020. In December 2020, I first started teaching people how to get these checks. There's a lot that goes on these videos. It is both America's number 2 most watched financial news channel in America. It is also a channel that educates you. It's also a channel that inspires you. And with that, what I did back in December 2020 is told people, you got to pick up the phone. Some people were shy at the time and they weren't ready to pick up the phone. And then they started seeing the success stories and inspire them. Remember, inspire fellow viewers in the live chat. Would you like $20,000 to $30,000 for rent? Then go get Check C. Would you like $5,000 to $20,000 for utilities? Go get it. Like Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000 for utilities. Snap. He's getting $25,000 a year over 10 years, $250,000. Combo. Here are people who got combinations of items. Nisi, Mark, Lorraine, Johnny. Lots of examples. Nisi gets a couple $100, a couple $1,000 every few days. She's gone from $23,000 to $50,000. This is what you do. You watch the channel, you watch the videos throughout the day, and then when you have free time the rest of the day, you spend them on the phone or on the newsletter getting the other checks and continually getting more checks. Mark went from $32,000, then he went to $50,000, then he went from $50,000 to $100,000. He got Check B, he got $166,000. Lorraine, she was at $105,000, then she went to $120,000, now she's at $130,000. I'll be coming back to Lorraine and her $130,000 success story in just a second. But how do you get Check C? Remember, your routine, you subscribe, you go into this video and become a member, and then in the membership newsletter, it tells you where to call, what to say, and how to say it. And you pounce and get these incredible sums of money. Let's go back to Lorraine, because Lorraine truly embodies the bifurcation, the separation of Americans right today, this year, and potentially next year as well. Lorraine last night in the live chat wrote the following. Lalate, I want you to know this. This is what she wrote. I started first watching your channel a few months ago, and I had a binder in front of me, and I started to take notes. Tonight, the binder is full. I love that. Because what Lorraine is doing is she's bringing to camera, watching the videos and taking notes of where the economy is, where her money is, where the economy is going, and how to get stimulus every time she watches a video. She's taking notes and she's comparing the notes. And that's why Lorraine has gotten $130,000. The other side of the equation are people who are going to do nothing. And we're going to meet those people who do nothing later in this recording. They are what I call the donut guy and the donut girl. Here she is. She's back. She's at the beach. She has a donut in her tube. She's upgraded, but she still has her hands occupied holding a donut in her hand. See how that worked perfectly? She's still holding a donut in her hand. She doesn't have time to have a binder to take notes on where this economy is and how to pick up the phone and call for some stimulus or go online and apply for some stimulus. She can't. She's holding a donut in her hand. That person is going to be in big trouble. That donut person is going to be in big trouble. Now, let me go over a couple things I want to go make very clear to you about where this economy is going, how you prepare for it, and how it's going to change so dramatically. First, I want you to understand that there's some really incorrect analysis out there, and it's likely to continue as we go into the midterm elections. You know, back in 2020, we used to laugh when Mitch McConnell would look at economic news and basically use the opposite version of it. You know, they would announce, $10. He said, I saw it said 1,000. Mitch is, the glasses. I don't know. Maybe the lobster shorts made him dizzy. But what's happening this time is that even the party in control, even people we sensibly think get it right, like the Federal Reserve, are saying wrong stuff left and right. And I expect them to continue to do it, and I want you to sort of brush it off. Don't worry about it. Tomorrow, there's a big comedy routine. You may want to watch it. It's not in Vegas. It's in D.C., and the stand-up comic is not Seinfeld. It's Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell will be giving his semi-annual monetary policy to Congress on Wednesday and Thursday. And do you think he's going to say he's getting inflation down to 2% late this year? Of course he is. Yeah, let's all laugh on cue. It's ridiculous because he's not getting inflation down to 2%. It's coming to 4%. I was the first to say that, and now Department of Labor and Congressional Budget Office says the same thing. He's going to continue to say that. The only thing that's accurate that's going to come out of his mouth is that he's raising interest rates. That's accurate. But what you need to know is what he's doing is not going to bring down inflation. On Saturday, Janet Yellen said much the same thing that Joe Biden said on Friday, which is we can avoid a recession. How? Doing a pear dance? How are you going to avoid a recession? And they just sort of said these sort of vague things. We're a great economy. We're just nice people. We'll avoid a recession. We have really good hairstyles. We'll avoid a recession. I don't know. I think we're going to recession right today. I don't know where this, it was just so fluffy. It was just really fluffy. I'm a good person. I'll avoid a recession. Yeah, good. Thank you. It's like on a little pillow. I'm a nice person. I won't suffer a recession. Yeah. Hug a pillow, avoid a recession. Yeah, Mr. Pillow will do that. So I don't know where this is coming from. I want you to know that a recession is likely. A recession is very likely because the way a recession happens is happening, and there's nothing that's preventing it from happening. Let's go over the analysis. Very simple. It all starts with gasoline. We have a shortage of gasoline, not just us, the Western allies. And that shortage of gasoline cannot be solved by pumping it out of our grounds. We don't have enough grass. We have enough grass or olive oil, if we're Italy, or petroleum oil, if the United States, in the ground. We don't have enough oil. We have to buy it. And we have to buy it from 5 countries featured on this channel the last few months. Venezuela, Brazil, Iran, Iraq, or OPEC+. If we don't get the gasoline bought, then the price of gasoline goes higher because there's a shortage. If the price of gasoline goes higher, then a number that comes out once a month goes higher. And that's called the Consumer Price Index. It's called the CPI. It is a number dependent upon 2 numbers: gasoline prices and food that you buy in the supermarket, things like that, consumer goods. If gasoline goes higher, the CPI goes higher. Hello, it's pretty obvious. Captain Obvious on the set here, please. And then if the inflation goes higher and the CPI goes higher, then the Federal Reserve raises interest rates. That's pretty obvious. This is very basic stuff. That's what Jay Powell said last week. He said, well, the CPI went higher, I'm raising interest rates. Guess what? If you look at the last step, raising interest rates, and you go back to the first step, it doesn't solve gas. Gas keeps on going up, interest rates keep on going up, we go into recession. It's that straightforward. With that, I want to go over a couple things tonight, and I want to bring back a familiar face. That's sirloin. Well, I was thinking about bringing back sirloin, but I thought that would make it even more confusing. You remember him, and you remember his sister. They are not lactose intolerant. They are not diabetic. They just love lots of sugar. They are Donut Girl and Donut Guy. And here is Donut Girl. She is back. What is Donut Girl doing? As she has moved from the from a recliner chair, and now she's on the beach. Both her hands are occupied holding a donut in her hand. It is not the type of donut first featured on this channel. It is not a sugary donut. This time it's an inflatable donut, but it gives the same messaging and more on point because it's on the beach. Let me go over what's going on with Donut Girl. Donut Girl is, initially when we were talking about Donut Girl and Donut Guy, we often thought of it as sort of a bad person. But Donut Girl and Donut Guy is not inherently a bad person. It's someone that saw something happen before and they think it's going to happen again. The expression you want to use if you see a Donut Girl or Donut Guy anywhere, whether it's in live chat or on the subway, is this is 2022, not 2020 and not 2021. Donut Girl and Donut Guy just repeat stuff like it's a prior year. You are seeing this in this recording that we're going to recession. We are seeing this recording. You have no unemployment stimulus. You have no housing stimulus. The economy is going to hell in a hell basket. You see, it's a very different year. So why would you think the way you got stimulus in 2020 is the same way you're going to get in 2022? You're not. The way you got stimulus in 2021 is the same way you're going to get in 2022. You're not. Now, when I say way you're going to get this year, I'm referring specifically to the next 90 days. I'm not focusing into later this year. Things could change later this year. I am focused on your financial livelihood between now and phase 2 in September. I need to ensure that you are financially secure now in phase 1 and remain financially secure in phase 2. Imagine how bad phase 2 is going to be. It's going to be winter. It's going to have the heating oil, the gas prices, the gasoline prices, the landlords wanting to evict, the banks want to take homes. It's going to be very severe. And anyone that says, well, in 2020, you couldn't foreclose, in 2020, you couldn't evict, in 2020, they couldn't turn off the utility. It's not 2020, it's 2022. And it goes also for your stimulus. Donut Girl will repeat the same expressions, but you should not ever be a Donut Girl or Donut Guy. What are the things you should not do for yourself or your family right now? 1, expect your bills to be paid by Build Back Better in the next 90 days. Build Back Better is not sending you any money in your wallet. You're not going to get any money in your hand in the next 90 days from Build Back Better. So you're going to have bills in the next 90 days. They're going to be very severe. And Build Back Better is not getting any bills paid in your hands in the next 90 days. I believe Build Back Better Act is going to get done. Positive thinking. I believe it's going to be great. Positive thinking. I believe it's going to have lots of checks. Positive thinking. But realistic thinking, it's not going to land in the next 90 days. And this is where this economy gets very serious. So anyone who says, what day is the vote for the Build Back Better Act, who was on the video yesterday, on the video the day before, on the video the day before, has to be a donut person. Because I already said, it ain't going to get money in your hand in the next 90 days. You need the money right away. You can't wait 90 days, 9 weeks, 9 days, 9 hours. You got to get these 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state tonight. That is step 1. Step 2, if Donut Girl says something like, when are they going to send a check for everyone else? That is basically donut-like language. It's lazy language, meaning you do not want to pick up the phone and call. You don't want to go online and go get the money. You want to be treated like this is 2020, where you just stand in the sun and shake your donut and money lands in your donut. That's not going to happen. This is 2022. You got to get off of that narrative. You may have seen the comfortness of a $600 measly check land your bank account one time, but understand that is 2020 or 2021. This is 2022. It's a different year. What do you get if all you do is repeat donut language? When is it landing? When am I getting? When is it happening? When is it paying me? You're going to sit on your butt as a donut girl, and all you're going to get is a donut butt. All you're going to get is a donut butt. Because that is a different year, and this is 2022. Don't get a donut butt. get a stimulus. Oh boy, gotta put that on a t-shirt. Hug a cactus, don't hug a cactus, save a cactus. Yeah, where am I getting this stuff from? Don't get a donut butt, because sitting on your butt is going to really leave you and your family in big trouble. Big trouble. And if you want to do that for yourself, good. I won't watch it because it's going to be very, very bad news. The difference is you're watching this channel. The difference is you are another Lorraine. You have a binder in front of you. You're taking notes. You're taking mental notes. You're writing this down. You're going through the newsletter. You open the newsletter. You're going through making the calls. 5 calls today, 6 calls yesterday. You're going in, going get check A. You're getting check B. If you don't get the check B response in a few days, you call them up or you follow up with them. The check C's, you're getting the rent from 4 or 5 locations. You're going and getting the utilities right now. You're establishing the relationship. I went over this recording. Meeting John or Jessica or Jenna on the phone and learning about them and their family, and then remembering their name, writing it down in your notes, getting a few months of that heating oil or gas right now, and getting yourself prepared when the storm comes in a few months from now. Imagine how severe it is when a favorite show you watch, you do not watch it for 5 episodes, and the main character has died. The sub-character has run off with a guest star who has an illegitimate child with someone. And then a third cast member has shown in and suddenly has a spin-off show. What did I miss? Well, imagine if you did that with the U.S. economy. Imagine if you did that with the U.S. economy. I use analogies because I think that's what's relatable. Imagine if all these storylines, this U.S. economy, changed every day and every hour, and you miss them. Well, they are, and you can't miss them. Finally, what I want you to understand is guidance is here, but guidance is not always somewhere else. Corporations have been under fire this year because their corporate earnings have not given pre-warnings of big trouble. And so I do not expect by Q2 this year, which is the second quarter, that the corporations will give us big warning signals if they have trouble. They may wake up one morning and announce foreclosure, bankruptcy protection. They may wake up one morning and announce 20 stores closed. They may wake up one morning and say 10% hiring freeze, as Tesla announced 10% fired overnight, and Coinbase announcing 18% gone overnight. And when you look to the Federal Reserve and Jay Powell, he just has the narrative about interest rates. So he's really no longer a beacon of guidance on this economy. If you look at Janet Yellen, I don't look at her either as a beacon of guidance anymore because she's just putting out fake narratives saying that labor's really good, labor's not good. And then the White House, they just sort of don't give you any direction of where things are going with them. They just say, yeah, gas is a problem. Yeah, inflation's a problem. What are you doing? They don't give you any analysis. Finally, Wall Street. What's important to understand is that there will be financial analysts who want to tell you about the bottom. The housing market's at the worst point now. It's going to rebound. Stocks are the worst part right now. Chasing the bottom is a very, very serious situation. What I want you to understand is that we are just in phase 1. Phase 1 is just the start. Phase 2 is not the bottom. Phase 3 is the bottom. And phase 3 will go on for 2 years. 2 years. And when you have a 2-year erosion of an economy, imagine what happens to people's wallets, people's homes, people's cars. And imagine if people just repeat what they heard in 2020 and think that they can just do what they did in 2020. They're not preparing. You prepare for your family starting right now with this promise to yourself. I will continue to watch this economy on a regular basis and know what's going on because I need to, for myself and for my family, to know what's going on with the value of my dollar bill. I need to know what's going on. I don't have to understand everything. I don't understand Jay Powell 90% of the time. I never understand the European Central Bank. In fact, that was the talk of the land today. No one's understanding what the European Central Bank is doing. Apparently, they're sending their economies into turmoil because everything they do makes no sense. But you need to watch what's going on, and you need to know what's going on at any time. And finally, you need to get those forced stimulus checks. You need to get checks today and get checks thereafter and get checks thereafter. If you make one phone call and call it a day, you ain't listening. If you make 2 phone calls and call it a day, you ain't listening. If you complain you made 3 phone calls, then why are you here? Do you want to complain that you're on the phone making 3 phone calls? When you're trying to prepare your household for a bad downward spiral of this economy? No. You're not a donut girl. You are a smart, motivated intellectual that wants to get their family into a better situation. You understand that gasoline prices may remain high, that the CPI will then stay high, and that the Federal Reserve will raise interest rates. And finally, you want to know what's going on with your benefits. And that's why I've left that for the last. Your benefits are going up, and they're going up a lot. We won't know for certain how much until at least August, but we'll start to see it in July. What's going on? Let me go over the analysis starting right now. If you're on SSI, SSDI, RB, veterans benefits, and more, this all applies to you. Your benefits are benchmarked to a benchmark called COLA, and that COLA benchmark goes in every year and then determines whether your benefits go up or stay the same. Remember, benefits never go down. Generally, COLA has been a very bad benchmark because it's generally been flat and your benefits have gone up. Last year was good because the economy had a lot of inflation. 8% inflation last year, and COLA was 5.9%. So your benefits went up 5.9%. What's going on this week? COLA's chief actuary at the Social Security, Steve Goss, looked at the May CPI number released last week and said, based upon that CPI number from May, I believe that your benefits will go up about, quote, about 8%. Great news. Now, that means, if he's right, your benefits will go exactly how we wanted it. This is SS300. It's happening. SS200. It's happening. $200, $300 a month, not just 1 month, not just 1 year, but lifetime. And now it gets actually better than this. Let's go over why. He's doing his analysis based upon the May CPI number released just last week. Remember, it's released the month after the data comes out. Well, the way COLA is determined is based upon the CPI-W released in the month of July, August, and September. So only 30 days away from seeing this calculation. What's at issue? Let me go over how it works. Analysts and myself have been looking at that number, and we collectively agree that Goss may be under-predicting what's going to happen. Ultimately, we don't have to guess because we'll see the result in July, August, September. Your COLA is determined based upon the CPI-W that's released in the month of July, August, and September. Just those 3 months. They determine what happens with the CPI-W. Social Security, based upon the May number, last week said that the May number is an indication we succeed at about 8%. The Seniors League, which is a nonprofit organization, nonpartisan, they said they see it as an 8.6% lead. I see it about a 9% raise. Why? Because remember, CPI-W, a subsection of CPI, is dependent upon gasoline. Let's go back to that graphic. Remember, if gas goes higher, then the CPI goes higher. If the CPI goes higher, and that subsection, of course, is called CPI-W, it goes higher. And CPI goes higher, then COLA goes higher. And that is the analysis. Now, on top of that, we have 2 bodies of legislation that have been introduced, one from Bernie and Liz Warren and the other one from another senator, to raise your benefits up based upon CPIE. We will track that news. I believe it will require a recon, but we're not quite sure. For now, your benefits are definitely going up $300 a month, a lifetime. Congratulations. Great news to end the recording. But they may be going up 9% if I have the analysis correct. We'll know the data in July, August, and September. 9% will be upwards of $350 to $400 more per month. Boy, you deserve it. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, it's been a big night. Coming up later tonight is Evenings Countdown at 6 o'clock, Evenings Extra at 8, Street and Stillness at 7, and Sunset at 9. If you haven't become a member, go right in this video right now and become a member. Tell your friends and family, come on over. This is the channel that's giving the correct analysis of where this economy is, where it's going, and how to get that money. And with that, stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful night. Don't forget to become a member, get that newsletter tonight, and get those big checks. And stay with Lalate for more.